shall we say, the cosmetics over there. There's no roof over the changing rooms. One of the sinks was pulled off the wall. There's no benches or hooks to even comfortably change. There's no shade, respite from the sun. The picnic benches are something that if you tried sitting on them, you would get pretty serious splinters. And the list goes on and on. So we've embarked on that, and we're real happy. We've asked some of the other community clubs to participate in helping us do that, because our estimates, not counting all the problems with the pool itself, which the Veterans District, the Evetts Pass Veterans District, has budget and responsibility for working on. So we're trying to make the place a lot more comfortable for people to enjoy and have some shade, and actually even add a barbecue area over there for the benefit of all the citizens of Murphy's area. So we asked some other clubs in the area to help us out, and the Native Daughters here in Murphy's was the first one to step up in a significant way, and we're real pleased and really happy to share with you all. Representative Brandy is here to present a check to us for their help in embarking on this project. So Susan, would you like to come up and introduce?
It's my pleasure to introduce Brandy Fleischman. She is the president of the Native Daughters and here in Murphy's. And again, they were quite gracious in supporting what we think is a common goal, and that's to provide good recreational opportunities in the city of Murphy's for all ages. So Brandy has a couple things to say about the Native Daughters, and also about a foundation that she'd like to inform us about. And then we're going to have a picture session over at the pool afterwards, so that'll be great. But thank you, Brandy, so much for your support. All of the town of Murphy's really appreciate it, everything that you guys do for the community.
Thank you.
So I'll let Brandy.
We had a presentation done at one of our meetings, and of course with the economy the way it is, we had to wait until we had a meeting with our financial advisors, because we are on a trust that was left to us, and this is what we use to help our community with our projects that we decide we can do. So we voted on this in September. The check was written for me to bring in September, but then our investor said, just hold for a little bit, you know, and let's make sure things are okay. So and it kind of worked out good, so we're okay right now. So anyway, what we have decided to do is that we would like to pay for the restroom refurbishment, which is $3,000. And also, we would like to pay for the barbecue and the new prep area, which is $3,500. So I have a check for $6,500 to present to the Rotary for the pool. The only thing that we request is that we'd kind of like to be kept up on the repairs and everything, and if we do have wives of Native sons that you know, we could pitch into, so if they need any help, you know, they can ask us to come and help do something. But we just like to be advised of how it's going, and come over and pitch in if you'd like us to. So, maybe later on down the road, if things do get a little bit better, we could come up with some more money, but this is something right now that we felt we could do up front and help out and get a good start. So the other thing I'd like to talk about, the Native Daughters, I know some of you may not know what it is, but the only requirement that it is for Native Daughters and the Native Sons is that you just be born in the state of California. There's no other requirements. The Native Son, which is a man, can also be a Native Daughter. And the native daughter can also be a native son now because of lawsuits that has occurred.
There you go, Tom, you're in business.
The lawsuit was brought by an attorney in San Francisco, but so she was the first native son in the state of California. And the first native daughter was an 83-year-old gentleman, and he joined because of his wife, who was a member for like 65 years. And they decided that they wanted to be buried together as native Californians, so he became a native daughter. So he has since passed on. She is still with us, so I guess we kind of bored him to death. Or something like that. But, we do have other native sons now, or native daughters, I should say, that are gentlemen. And the native sons also have quite a few women in the organization. And I think we are all over the state. We do projects that include mission restoration, lighthouse repairs, a lot of historical monuments, buildings. In Murphy's, in fact, we had a dedication not too long ago, a joint dedication with Native Daughters, Native Sons. You can see some of our plaques on some of the buildings. We also do some of the road plaques for historical locations. So we do a lot for the community. We do a lot for kids. We donate a lot of books to the library. We've given them stuff on the missions. So we do a lot for the community. Whatever we have our, like our yard sales and different things that we have that we raise money for, all of it goes back into the community. The money that we pay as Native Daughters produce and stuff is what keeps our parlor going. But all of the money we earn goes all back into the community, which is what we want. These kids are our future generations, and they're going to be taking care of what we leave for them. So this is what we try to do, is to help the kids. I think you know that we also help Red Heart with their agricultural thing. We put in $16,000 for them to sell the flowers and stuff, and that was fantastic. The kids have had a great time doing that, and a lot of people in the community have bought their flowers. So it has been a great thing that's fallen down, that's come down through the things in the community. So and that's what we want. We want all of the things that we do to somehow help everyone in the community. So one of the things that I am on, besides being the president of Native Daughters here in Murphy's, is I'm on the state committee for the whole state of California. I'm vice chairman of a children's foundation. And what we do is that we pay for medical bills from birth to age 18 for kids who can't get any help anywhere else. The income doesn't matter. Whatever child needs help, that's what we try to do. And we have a lot of requests for hearing aids for young babies up to the age of 3. Right now we have an awful lot of them. And it just all of a sudden, sometimes we have a lot of van lifts, wheelchairs. We have a lot of kids for orthodontia, braces, occupational therapy. Anything that you can think of for a child is what we do. And if there's any child that anyone knows in the community that needs some kind of medical help, all they need to do is call me. I have applications, and we meet once a month in San Francisco at the Native Daughters home. And it's a great organization, and that's my passion, is helping the kids. So if at any time that the Rotary would like to make a donation, that would be very helpful. And so anyway, but I would like to thank the Rotary for all of their work they do for our community and for the kids at the school level, everything. It's just marvelous, and it really does make a difference in someone's life, all the help that you could give. to anyone. And so we would like to present this check for $6,500 to the Rotary Club for the Murphy's Pool.
Thank you very much for that.
Randy, again, please convey our thanks to your membership because it's huge that your support is enabling us to move much, much faster than we even dreamed we could.
Oh,
And
we're
it'll be
pleased.
a huge benefit to the community, I think, especially adding the barbecue area over there. I'll probably increase the usage significantly. Great. We have a few brief announcements and then we'll move on with the awards. Steve Date, do you want to just announce about our blood drive next Wednesday?
All right. Next Wednesday, as you know, the blood source is going to be up at the Masonic Hall. Going to have the blood drive. It's between 12 and 6 p.m. Once my first shift, I'm doing 2-hour shifts. We have 3 shifts. First shift is 12. I need one more person for the 12 to 2. Basically, I also need one more person for the second shift between 2 and 4. If you'd like to volunteer to help out, I have a list here. We can get you on the list. But again, it's a reminder that next Wednesday, it is the blood drive. And if you can give blood, hey, we're going to be there. We'll take it.
So any volunteer to help on the 12 to 1, 12 to 2 shift? John, you just raised your hand. Mike Benefield will help on the 12 to 2. Anybody on the 2 to 4? Anybody available to help with that? 2 to 4. Okay, well, we'll keep.
She lost her.
Oh, I've got air.
Excuse me.
Also, Earl, do you want to announce the details for next week's vocational?
Get it? Want me to
Again, for everybody that's not a Rotarian, the month of October is called Vocational Service Month in the world of Rotary, and so we're actually going to go take a tour of one of the local businesses, which happens to be Paws, which is going to be a lot of fun for all of us. So Merle, could you fill everybody in on details?
The gates will be open at 11:30. Encourage everyone to bring their own chair. I'll have the lunches and I'll have the soft drinks, et cetera, and we will eat there. We were going to eat at John's School in off of Pool Station Road. That's not going to work out for reasons that I won't get into. We're going to eat there. Anybody who wants a carpool, I'll have availability of at least 2 seats. But I would encourage carpooling to the extent that's practical. So,
And again, bring a folding chair. They have very, very limited seating.
yeah.
There, if you sit on the fence, you might get an elephant bumping into you.
I'm going to have the sandwiches made at Sierra Market, and I'm going to make them per Merle. So
Per Merle, sounds good.
that means that I'm going to mix them up. I'm going to have this, I'm going to have
And
that.
there will be some
I'm gonna have this, and
vegetarian.
I'm gonna have that. I'm not taking orders. I decided I don't take orders.
Whoa. Whoa. Wait a minute, I've met your wife.
We,
Well, I'm white.
That's right, that's his attitude.
And Linda, if you want something special, you can see me though.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Superintendent Brophy, would you like to come up and preside? And John, for many of you in schools, was our president last year. So, past President John, take it away, please.
Bert. Well, welcome to all of our students and their parents, and Catherine and Delilah for coming back to introduce them. For students, I just want to briefly let you know that besides the Student of the Month program that our Rotary offers, we do other things too that you might have an interest in coming up this year as students. Besides the Student of the Month, we provide high school exit exam tutoring for students that need a little extra help. We're going to be sponsoring at least 2 students, one boy and one girl, to go to a Rotary Youth Leadership Camp, which is held in February over in Yosemite, and they have students from all over California come to that. We've had students go every year. Only requirement is you have to be a junior and be able to spend the weekend in Yosemite with a bunch of other young people. So it's a great time. And if you're interested in that, we're going to be doing interviews on November 7th at Bret Hart, and you can either see Ms. Hernandez or you can go see Lisa Worthman, who is the Interact Club advisor at Bret Hart, and they have applications. And as I said, we're able to send at least one boy and one girl, and we also pick alternates because oftentimes other clubs don't fill their quota. So in the past couple of years, we've been able to send 2 and 3 students at a time. So if you're interested in that, you know where to go. We also sponsor the Miss Calaveras Scholarship pageant every year, and that will be coming up in the spring. I encourage you to think about that. And each year we provide student scholarships, $1,000 student scholarships. We gave 2 to Bret Hart students last year and 1 to Vallecito John Vieira students. So you'll be able to apply for those when Mrs. Roleri gets the word out in January or February about student scholarships. We also will be doing a speech contest this year, and there are prizes for that at the local and regional level on up to the state level. And so if you are good on making up speeches and delivering them, then you can enter that. So those are some of the things we do for students just at Bret Hart. We also do a lot of things for students in our elementary schools on Highway 4. And the last 2 years we've also worked on a project that has helped build a school in Guatemala for some Mayan children who are indigenous to the area where we built the school. In Guatemala, school is only free up through 6th grade, and so we have to support them so they can go on and get further education. And if you are looking for community service hours, you can join the Interact Club at Bret Hart that Ms. Worthman is the faculty advisor for. They help us out on a number of projects and also do other things in the community. So those are all things that as school leaders you probably already know, or you probably wouldn't be here. So we'll start off and we'll ask Catherine Jones to come back here, as she always does, and introduce the students from Vallecito and John Vieira.
You have to understand, if you're new, they tease me because I keep coming over and over and getting more and more free lunches, so I never get to come just quietly and introduce my students.
Doesn't stop you though,
It doesn't, because it's a good deal. We have 2 students from John Vieira, which is an independent study program that we'd like to recognize, and 1 student from Vallecito High School, and we do this as students of the quarter rather than every month. And when the quarter comes up, I speak to the staff and ask them who they would like to have recognized. And it's interesting because I have 3 students today, each of whom is being recognized for a different quality, which I'm particularly pleased about. So let me start. I brought my dark glasses, which may be interesting. I wanted to start with Lauren Johnson, if you would come up, please. So Lauren is a student at John Vieira High School. She will be graduating soon. We have had her since the very beginning. She's been absolutely outstanding, and she was recommended by her teacher, and I wanted to read to you what Mrs. Landreth has written. It has been a pleasure to be Lauren's teacher for these past 2 years. I always enjoy our conversations and admire Lauren's ability to manage her many responsibilities. She's worked diligently toward her graduation goal and does an excellent job on her schoolwork. Employed at Big Trees Market, she often works 30 or more hours a week, plus a full-time school schedule. Honest and sincere, Lauren has matured into an admirable and I would say beautiful young lady. With her honesty, strong work ethic, positive attitude, and outstanding citizenship, Lauren is a role model for her fellow students. She will be graduating in December, a full semester ahead of schedule, and will be missed very much. Lauren plans to continue her education and pursue a career in accounting, and congratulations for your achievement. And I just wanted to say, I remember when you first came to us, and this, just to watch this young woman blossom not only into a mature, lovely person, but to be successful, to hold down a job, it's everything you would ever want. So congratulations to your parents as well, Lauren. You've done a wonderful job. of the benefits and why some of the students are drawn to independent study is because either they need to or they want to work. And so all of the students that I brought with me today are kids who not only work a tremendous number of hours, but they also maintain a full school schedule. So the next student is Christina Crawford. Cute little thing, she's just my size. So her teacher is Mrs. Clements, and this is what Mrs. Clements has written. Christina is an industrious 18-year-old who works many hours a week to support herself. She's currently living with a friend's family and saving money so she's able to live on her own. Christina is dependable, conscientious, and an ambitious young lady who's overcome many obstacles in her young life. She is a delight to have as a student because she's an overachiever with excellent organizational skills. The responsibility she has assumed for herself has made her mature beyond her years. Christine is well liked at school and at her work, where she has recently been offered a promotion. Congratulations. Christina's goal is to put herself through cosmetology school. It's a privilege and pleasure to have her as my student. And the thing that I think all of us that work with young people, there are those kids in this community who just absolutely do outstanding things and have an incredible support network that helps them achieve their potential. One of the things I want to acknowledge you for is Christina has done that, and she's made her own support network within herself. And that's a commendable thing. You've done a beautiful job. And congratulations. Do you want to introduce?
This is my friend Rayanne.
You know, and I might add, in the work that I've done, I have been so impressed with this county because in this situation, as I've seen in others, we have people in this community who support other people's children and help them when they need it, and it's a very kind-hearted, generous group of people in this community who've helped so many young people, just as you are. Thank you. And last but not least is Brian Cholka from Vallecito, who's like really big compared to me. And Brian was selected for kind of a different reason. And let's see, did you start at Bret Harte? Yeah. Okay. Copper Cove. So he was down at Copper Cove when we had a small necessary school. Then you came up to Vallecito. Then Bret Harte. Then John Deere, then Vallecito. So he has been in all the schools that we have in this district. And I've known you since you were a freshman. And I think that the reason that Brian was selected is because he has worked really, really hard over the years to try to kind of learn to deal effectively with the world. And it wasn't always easy, and he has struggled with that at times, and he's gotten in trouble at times. And what we have seen, and I really commend you for this, as I've told you, is he has had a couple of things happen this year, and he made the absolute right decision about how to handle it. It took a lot of self-control. It was something very, very different than what he would have done 4 years ago. And he's about ready to graduate. He works 30 hours a week, just like our other young women. And I just, sometimes it's what they do, and sometimes it's how much they've grown. And this has been given to you because how much you've done and to improve yourself over the last 4 years. We're real proud of you.
And that's my mom, Mary, back there.
And before I forget, I'd like to ask the students and their parents or guests, if after the meeting is over, if you could meet me outside. We'd like to take a picture so that the principals can put it in the school office, and then you also have something to have your parents put in their scrapbook at home, because that means a lot. So, all right, Delilah, the floor is yours to introduce the Bret Harte students of the month.
Thank you again for having me back for lunch. I get to bring in a couple of students each month, and I really, really appreciate it. I think somebody mentioned that I get the same lunch every month. I have not. But even if I did, I'm not complaining, because getting to sit down for lunch from the high school, it's a treat. So, and I am actually the lucky one that gets to meet our senior students, and usually there are senior students. I do have two that are nominated by our teaching staff, and this is probably the first time in the last 2 years that I had so many that it was hard to choose. So I think we might even have our next couple months already selected because of the amount of work outside of school the students have done, that we want them to know we noticed and other people have noticed. But today I do have two senior students that were nominated by our teachers. I'm going to start with Cheyenne. So she gets to come up here and look pretty well. I talk about her. Cheyenne, she is a senior. I'm excited. I have to tell you though, last year I didn't get to know them very well quite because they're juniors. And if you remember me coming up here and saying, I concentrate on the seniors. And right now it's college application time. So Cheyenne and I, she's been emailing, coming to my office, and is just getting down to the nitty-gritty of college application time. So it's a hectic time for a lot of the seniors, just to get applications, deadlines, paperwork, letters of recommendation, and all that stuff. So a lot going on right now. I can tell you about Cheyenne. She is a 3.5 GPA student overall for her career at Bret Harte. She is involved in just about everything there is. She's a mentor for our Friday Night Live program. It's a peer tutoring program run outside of school, but within the school, helping students. She has kept stats for the football team for 3 years. I think it's the first time she has not. And 4 years for the volleyball team. They miss her, I know. This year she is the yearbook editor, and she has taken, I believe, 2 periods and working on a 3rd one. And so to do that, she's actually gonna have to do another class on her own time, so she can get all her deadlines done. She's also on the tennis team, and her mom let me know, she did not, that she has been on varsity for 4 years. Well, we'll be on the 4th year this year. But which year was it that you went undefeated? Last year. Last year she went undefeated as a singles competitor, and that was the first time it was done in 15 years at Bret Harte. She's also a member of our Link Crew program at the high school, and she has participated on programs called Challenge Day, and will be participating in Breaking Down the Walls, which is another program to deal with students at Bret Harte. And I have to go through my list here, but I have teacher comments about both of them. Cheyenne, from Ms. Pape, who is the yearbook teacher, is an ambassador of kindness on campus. She is always quick to be all-inclusive with those whom she knows, as well as all those wallflowers in the hallways. She reaches out to others and works to make positive connections. As a leader, she is warm and firm. She leads by example and is dedicated to excellence. She is a young lady of integrity and focus. Mr. Edwards, PE teacher and football coach, says, Cheyenne spent the 3 years keeping stats for the football program, and though we miss her involvement this year, from what I understand, she has done a tremendous job in the same capacity for volleyball, giving up several hours of her time to be of assistance with other students and faculty on campus. She's a great representative for this honor. And I have to tell you, when I see her on the side doing volleyball stats, she might have a camera hanging on the side too, because she has to take pictures for yearbook. See, as a yearbook editor, she does an excellent job. Though we have an awkward schedule, according to Ms. Pape, and she has made it work and brought out the best in the yearbook staff. She's doing a stellar job. She manages a very busy life, maintains high grades, and is a fine example of Bret Harte students. That's it what I have on Cheyenne. And I have to tell you that I enjoyed talking and working with Cheyenne from last year to this year. And I know we're not done because college applications are done, then we get into scholarships. And then all kinds of other stuff that she needs. But this is Cheyenne. Hi.
My mom's Jill. And next year I plan on going to a four-year university. Not sure where yet, but I'd like to major in communication journalism.
Very good. Congratulations.
And I have 2 boys, I have to tell you, but if I had a girl, I think I'd want her to be like me. I give it hands down to any parent that has girls, because girls at the high school make me happy to have boys. They're not all bad. Cheyenne, I'd love to have you as a daughter. daughter. But then we have Chris. And I have to tell you that because when I see Chris, he's the type of boy I want my kids to grow up to be like. Chris is also a senior. He is carrying a 3.9 GPA overall. So when I looked at his...
Which rotten teacher gave you a B?
I'll tell you this much though, looking at his transcript, just scanning it real quick, in 3 years of high school, he has only received 4 Bs. That's how he carries that GPA. And I'm sure your core grades are just as good. And they're not easy classes, they're advanced math, science classes, so he's up there. He is involved in some campus activities as well, including leadership, which does a lot. He's a quality student athlete. He works extremely hard on the playing field and in preparation for his sports of choice. He is very conscientious of his role and makes great efforts to be a positive role model and leader within the team. Beyond that, he has always made academics a priority and puts forth the same type of effort in his classwork. Teachers have nothing but positive remarks towards his efforts and abilities. He is a tremendous representative of Bret Hart in many ways, a great role model for all of our student body. He is Finest Cap Hay, also the yearbook teacher. He actually had started with the yearbook, but too much going on. Chris is absolutely outstanding young man. He is intensely focused and hardworking, a quiet leader and a gentleman. Chris is respected by faculty as well as his peers and is an example of the very best of Bret Hart. I believe I have one more. You're getting A in government too.
Yeah.
Is that AP? Government is one of our senior requirements, government English and senior seminar.
4-year university and playing baseball. I'm not too sure yet, but I've been in contact with the coaches at the University of Pacific, Cal State East Bay, and Sonoma State. So looking at that.
Thank you. And again, if the students and their parents would see me outside the double doors there, we'll do some pictures right afterwards. Congratulations and thank you, and we'll look forward to next month's students.
All right, I know all the Rotarians have a raffle ticket. I want to make sure, did all our guests get a raffle ticket?